Hi there. I'm back, kind of. I technically shouldn't be doing this right now, but I have to because I need to talk about something that I've been seeing pop up lately. Um, Now, see, I had a whole rant that I wanted to do talking about the whole new Super Saiyan thing or Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, but as it turns out, it's actually kind of hard for me to S properly right now. Man, at least it's not as hard as my J's. Yes, I have to be very slow and deliberate with those. Um, but by golly, I could not stay away. I couldn't. I had to talk about this because this has come up so much in the recent weeks, and I don't understand why, but it has, and it's something that I've been meaning to address for a while, but never really felt like it was that urgent. But now I kind of think I do. There's this long running meme that Goku is a terrible father. Um, it has been perpetuated in media for quite a while now. Team 4 Star tries to make jokes built around it, even though Team 4 Star makes jokes built around a lot of stuff that's not actually in the series, but fans think are in the series, which is actually kind of interesting because it's on a meta level, kind of showing you what the show would really be like if it was what you thought it was. But hey, um, there are articles about this, talking about this, etc. But see, more specifically, people lately have been trying to say this and then contrast him with Vegeta, who apparently is an example of a good father to people. Now, I want to talk about this because it's kind of really getting to me in that sense. I had a rather unique parental situation with my parents. Well, it's actually not that unique, sadly. It's all too common. My parents divorced when I was younger. And it was not a pleasant thing. It was a very messy thing. My dad was around for a while, and then he wasn't. And then, I wound up. It's a very long and complicated story, but I know something about fathers and, what is and is not necessarily a painful thing to go through. Now, I could talk at length about why Goku was gone when he was gone, but really, realistically speaking, no one can really be mad at him for it. I mean, you can try to cite it, but really you just look like an idiot when you do. When you say, oh, he abandoned his wife and his son, and his wife was pregnant, and his son needed him, and it's like, no. First and foremost, what he did because he thought it was better for them that he stay away because he was the reason their lives had been in danger. He also felt he had died once and been resurrected already, and so maybe it was just time for him to stay gone. In terms of, oh God, his wife being pregnant, realistically, I don't know why people try to fault him for that. I don't. There was no way he could have known that. There's no way anyone knew that. And I don't know if he had known that that was going to be the case, he might have done something different, but all we can do is speculate because he did not know. Now, another example people like to cite is Namek. When after Namek's destruction, he refused to come back. He had a reason for that. He was training. He was trying to gain control of his power. In order for him to go all out fighting Frieza, he had to completely empty a planet and fight it out on a dying world. I mean, that planet crumbled around them. That, look at the level of power that is. And it's a power that he can't fully control. So yes, he wanted to stay gone, train, learn how to control it, and in the process, learn some new techniques that would later prove to be completely, totally, and utterly invaluable. But there's this really bizarre notion that every time Goku has gone out training, he's ditched his family. When he was training to face the androids, for example. There are people who actually say that he took off on his family. I, I don't understand how people could think that he took off on his family. I really don't. Gohan was with him, for one thing, while he was training with him and Piccolo. Um, and for another, they were pretty clearly near where Goku lived. I mean, it would not be hard for them to fly back at night and take a rest. They don't have to be gone to train. There's also the fact that Goku spent a full year with his son inside that time chamber, which would actually account for that year that he was gone trying to gain control of his newfound power. And it was all spent within a day. There are other people who like to cite that Goku actually hit Gohan to keep him from running off. Now, I'm not even going to get into the technicalities surrounding that, but I will say that Gohan was about to rush into a situation where Gohan would be guaranteed dead. He saved his son's life and stopped him from doing something incredibly stupid. So that example, no, that don't work either. It really doesn't. Now, the reason that I want to bring these up is because people like to say that Vegeta was not a bad father because he was there. Because he was around, he was there, and that's it. See, him being there does not mean that he was there for his son, and I want to explain what I mean by that. He was there physically, but emotionally, in the way that he was needed to be there, in the way that he was needed to be a dad, he was not there. Vegeta had kind of withdrawn into himself at that point. Goku had been his aim, his goal, the one thing that he needed to do to regain his birthright, and Goku was now gone. Period. His shot at regaining his birthright, restoring his pride, was gone. At which point he just kind of threw himself into training. He kind of stopped caring. But Trunks, he even specifically tells his son, I haven't held you once since you were a baby. That hug that he gave him before he tried to kill Boo was the first time he had ever hugged his son. The whole aspect of him training him did not come from him actually caring about his son. It was not him spending time with his son. His son would sometimes sneak into the gravity chamber with him, and Vegeta would oftentimes chide him for doing something stupid if the gravity settings were really high and Trunks was having a hard time moving. Vegeta actually was also offended to learn that his son had achieved the Super Saiyan power. It stung his pride a little because he was a child. And he felt that it hurt the meaning of it. And I'm not going to get into a debate about that right now, but yeah, that the fact of the matter is he did not start to train him until he learned that he would be competing with Goku's son, Goten. That is why Vegeta started training with Trunks, started trying to teach him. And, I mean, there are other people who I've seen point out the whole scene where he tells Trunks, if you can hit me, we'll go to the amusement park for an entire day. Which is obviously a very uncommon occurrence for Trunks. Because he seemed to get extremely excited at the prospect of spending a day with his dad. To the point where even after he actually did manage to hit his dad, who then lost his temper and smacked him back twice as hard, and justified it by saying, I never said I wouldn't hit back. When he snaps at him and tells him to get his coat on because they're going now, the kid's happy, excited, even though this guy just lost his temper, decked him, and then yelled at him. Now, you can argue about, the legitimacy of that scene. You can argue about, whether or not that was... That's not the point, though. The point is people bring it up, so yeah, I'm going to address it. When you're dealing with fathers and fatherhood, and you see someone who was there for his son, was there since birth, gave his life to protect his son. The moment his son was threatened, he became so thoroughly enraged that he wasn't even thinking straight. He was about to just hop right up and start chasing after Raditz and give no second thought to even having a plan. He was mad. He was enraged that someone had threatened and scared and potentially hurt his little boy. Vegeta, we're talking about the same Vegeta who, when Bulma's air car was destroyed and she and Trunks were falling potentially to their doom, his future self had to save his infant self and his mother because Vegeta didn't give a rat's ass. Now, did Vegeta change? Absolutely, he changed. And honestly, we don't really have a whole lot of scenes of him being a dad after that change, so can't really say how much he's improved, but it's a given that he has. But for you to sit there and say that Vegeta pre-heart change was a genuinely better father than Goku simply on the basis of being there, that's insane. I'm sorry. Because I know from personal experience that when your dad isn't there to tell you he's proud of you, isn't there to encourage you, isn't there to hug you, isn't there to comfort you in any way when you're sad, when you were a little kid. When he's not there, that makes sense. Because he's gone. He's gone. He has no idea what's going on. You can't expect him to do that. But I'll tell you, it can sting. It can still sting, but you can understand why, especially when he didn't, he died. But I'll tell you this. Hurts a heck of a lot more to go through that exact same thing and yet see your dad sitting like 10 feet in front of you every morning and still ignoring all that. That hurts a lot. So much so that when you even get the scraps, you convince yourself that you're happy. That this is what you wanted, that daddy cares. Then you had the people who like to cite the fact that Goku loved to train with Oob. Even though, Goku says specifically, I'll be back every once in a while to visit. Even though Gohan is grown with a 4-year-old and Goten is about 18 years old. And yet I keep hearing Goten was about 18 years old, Goku was with him throughout his formative years. And yet I keep hearing that Goku abandoned Chi-Chi to raise their sons by herself again. Their sons are raised, people. At that point, the only thing he's doing is leaving her home while he goes to train this kid who has an enormous potential that he needs to learn how to control. If only because just making him mad caused him to blow up like that and pull out that kind of power. He can wind up hurting someone if he doesn't learn to control it. But yeah, it's primarily because he wants to fight him now that he won't just try to, senselessly destroy the entire universe. But he still says he's going to be coming home. And he's going to be visiting. I don't understand what the problem there is. Well, at any rate, that's all I really had to say about this topic. I'm not even trying to say necessarily Vegeta's a bad father. It's just that, it's a given, I would think, that he wasn't the best dad because he was kind of a jerk at that point in the story. It is what it is. But when people sit there trying to say that he was a better father than Goku ever was, no. That's just no. And I'm seeing that so often lately, and I don't even understand why. But there it is. I might do one last video on the whole Super Saiyan God thing. There we go. But at any rate, that's all I had to say about this topic. So anyhow, I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.